The Oakland Athletics will soon be the Las Vegas, maybe Athletics. A unanimous decision by ownership groups around Major League Baseball. And the big question is now what? Wayne Coy from Locked On Athletics joins me now to help answer that question and a lot more, because really this was, Wayne, a foregone conclusion, I think, for a lot of people. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, then what is the plan? So what is the plan now? Because there are questions about stadiums and homes and all that stuff right now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think that the fact that the vote was unanimous, if that doesn't tell you what we already figured, which is that basically the PR nightmare that has been this whole thing, they wanted it to end. So the conversation is, look, you might have issues, you might have stuff that is still bothering you about this whole situation, but we need it to end. So everybody jump in line and let's go in lockstep, show solidarity. And MLB is pretty good at that. So they did. And that's where it's at. But I don't really think it changes much at all, truthfully.
So this is not going to happen right away. What are the next steps here?
Well, if you just take what kind of filtered through today, it's that, yes, they have a lease for next year. Don't know where they're going to play 25, 26, 27. And the analogy that I've been using, it's like your cousin Freddie, who doesn't really have a place to live. So he's on your couch for a couple of weeks, and then he's on her couch for a couple of weeks. And that, hey, by the way, do you have anything for dinner while I'm here? And that's really what it is. It's a nomadic thing. And I can't see players being into that. I know the fans aren't going to be into it. So honestly, what I project is that there will be an extension of the lease in Oakland, but I think that's going to come at a cost. What that cost will be, we'll have to wait and see. I know that Mayor Tao did say that she wanted the A's to guarantee, well, one, that MLB would give them an expansion team, and two, that the name A's or Athletics stays behind, as do the team colors and all the intellectual property. John Fisher has already announced that it's the A's that are moving to Vegas, as far as he's concerned. So I think that's off the table, but definitely not an expansion team. I think that's still a conversation. And you got a rabid fan base there. They're about as loyal and boisterous as you're ever going to find in the sport. And they've supported that team when it's deserved to be supported. Let me throw that in, for 55 years. But this has been a very abusive relationship, Pete. It's been kind of like, you keep getting threatened over and over again that somebody's going to smack you around, and you start to duck after a while. Well, there's a reason why the fans haven't shown up. You've doubled the price of season tickets. You've stripped the team down to the studs, where what's on the field is basically, for all intents and purposes, a AA or AAA team. And you expect that to be taken any way other than, oh, those people in Oakland, they don't support their team. They don't show up. Look at all the empty seats. Well, that's what they wanted it to look like. And so this has played out exactly as the way Fisher's wanted it to. But I will tell you, there are still some speed bumps in the way. And until I see shovels in the ground, I don't believe it yet.
Well, and you mentioned some of the speed bumps. The Nevada's Teachers Union is fighting the $380 million in public funding that is set to go toward this new $1.5 million or $1 billion, $1.5 million to be over. They'd have built it by now. And let's be honest, Wayne, it's not going to be $1.5 billion. It never is. There's always cost overruns. By the time they finish it, it'll be closer to $2 billion, and on the hook will be the Nevada taxpayers. We know that that's how this works. It's how that always works. But I want to ask you one thing that you mentioned, because you talked about the fans and their loyalty, and they've supported this team when they have deserved to be supported. Well, so now you've got borrowed time here, 2028. There is a set date here. How do you think fans are going to respond for the next couple years?
Well, if you're going to take opening day as any sort of example of what to expect, the place is going to be packed. That parking lot, opening day 2024, is going to be full. The stadium will be empty because the fans are going to stay in the parking lot. They're going to tailgate their butts off and boycott, not a reverse boycott, but a real boycott of opening day baseball. And it's only going to get worse from there. So get ready for that.
Stay up to date on all the drama surrounding the Oakland A's by subscribing to Locked On Sports today and Locked On A's on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube. And yes, it will still be Locked On A's when they go to Vegas.